Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MIT 100K Accelerate Showcase. I'm Sam, and I'm one of the co-managing directors of the MIT 100K Entrepreneurship Competition. Thank you so much for attending tonight. We're so excited to get the showcase going. Before kicking off, we just wanted to thank our sponsors. Starting with our platinum sponsor, we have Akamai. Akamai will be speaking later tonight before we present the $10,000 Audience Choice Award, which is in memory of Danny Lewin. Next, we have our gold sponsors, Goodwin, Morgan Lewis, and Wolf Greenfield. And finally, we have our silver sponsors, Sidan and Mintz. Without the support of our sponsors, none of this would be possible. Thank you so much for all of your continued support over the years.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claire, and I'm also a co-managing director of MIT 100K. In addition to thanking our sponsors, we wanted to take time to thank our organizing committee, which has put in countless hours to pull together this event in store for you tonight. Throughout the showcase, many of us will be working behind the scenes to make this virtual experience as engaging as possible for everyone. We also want to recognize our video production team at MIT, which has been so helpful in making this remote format possible.
Hi all, I'm Tierno, and I'm the third managing director of the 100K competition this year. I'm going to run through the agenda for tonight. First, we're going to start with 90-second pitches from each of our 10 finalists to give you an overview of the businesses they've been working on. Then, you'll have a chance to engage with teams more closely in a series of 10 breakout Q&A sessions where you, the audience, will stay in the same breakout room and the finalists will rotate and in and out every 7 minutes. We'll have a member of the 100K team moderating each breakout session. We encourage you, audience members, to ask questions and learn more about what the finalists are building. Once you've heard from all teams, you'll vote to determine who will win the $10,000 Danny Lewin Grand Prize. We'll capture your votes through an evaluation form, which is on the landing page for the website that got you here. Around 9 p.m., we'll announce the grand prize winner, as well as the 3 teams that will automatically advance to the launch semifinals based on external judging scores that happened earlier in the Accelerate process. Now, I'd like to pass it over to our MCs for the night, Leonard Bessie and Christy Call.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. We're now going to move to the main attraction. Hi, Christy. How's it going?
Hey, Leonard. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Excellent. Let me go ahead and introduce my partner in crime while we're at it. Leo is a master finance student, and he loves to learn about startup trends and is certainly really excited about technology and finance innovations.
Great. And Christy balances work and school and is what we call Pandemba, class of 2022, inspired by problem solving and creating new technologies that might seem impossible to some, but not to her. Her day job has her leading centers on autonomous vehicles at Lyft.
Cool. First up for today, we have Candelytics. They're anchored to 3D imaging analytics. Take it away, Candelytics.
All right, can you all see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine you are a Coast Guard law enforcement officer whose mission for the day is to board a suspected and possibly dangerous drug smuggling vessel bound for the United States. It's 4 a.m. and the seas are rough. And once you're on board this vessel, you're crawling around on your hands and knees in the bottom of the ship with bilge water splashing all around you, measuring the interior compartments of the ship to try and find hidden smuggling compartments. Yet you come up empty-handed for the 4th day in a row, because all you're armed with are a tape measure, pen, and paper. Yes, the method I just described is exactly how the US Coast Guard currently conducts counter-drug operations. It's primitive, dangerous, and incredibly ineffective, with success rates hovering at just around 50%. But it doesn't have to be this way. Our team is building a set of 3D digital tools to help the Coast Guard quickly scan, visualize, and identify suspicious voids on board a ship. Make no mistake about it, counter-drug operations is $1 billion problem for the Coast Guard. Whereas before, it would have taken the Coast Guard days to locate contraband, if they locate it at all. Our solution was shortening that time down to minutes while greatly improving accuracy and safety. We've conducted 2 in-person demonstrations with Coast Guard units in Miami and San Diego, and we are very excited to operationally test our product this summer with our Coast Guard partners. Ultimately, our vision is to expand our technology beyond the Coast Guard to help commercial and government users better analyze and interact with the 3D world. Conservative estimates of the addressable maritime market alone is valued at over $30 billion. We are a team of military veterans and engineers from MIT and Harvard, and with your help, we can help usher in the coming revolution in 3D data. Thank you.
Thank you, Candelytics. You certainly had me at days to minutes, LiDAR, and defense. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to move on to our next competitor. Leo, are you ready for the next company?
Yeah, Christy, how about we go with the flow?
Yes, literally. Let's now welcome our second competitor, Flow.
Awesome. Thank you for having us. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you're all good.
Awesome. Hi, I'm David, and I'm the CEO of Flow, an MIT and Yale cleantech startup developing a smart, cost-effective, and environmentally friendly solution to tackle the $11.1 billion US ice dam market. Our patent-pending system relies on advanced IoT sensors and machine learning to determine exactly when to respond to ice dam buildup by depositing a non-corrosive, biodegradable, pet-implant safe de-icing fluid onto the roof. Compared to existing solutions, Flow system reduces annual operating costs by more than 40%, and the carbon emissions by more than 99%, while also being far safer and more effective. We've already tested our system with key stakeholders, including the US Army. We're now conducting a 50-unit paid pilot nationwide this winter in over 10 states. Some of our customers include Prologis, the largest warehouse owner in the world, the Hyatt, the city of Rochester, New York, and Vail Resorts, one of the largest global ski resort companies. We're first scaling through sales to commercial buildings, and we have several key revenue streams, including product sales, an acreage model for our de-icer, and a SaaS dashboard to track our systems over time. We're ultimately determined to transform and decarbonize the global de-icing industry. We also aim to leverage our IoT sensors and data sets to develop efficiencies year-round as the nest for the building envelope. Our team has cultivated key skills by working in business, technology development, and production at some of the world's top companies. The $10,000 Audience Choice Award will be critical to finalize our pilot's data collection and conduct design for manufacturing to accelerate our production launch. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, David, and thank you to the Flow team. In fact, I think this was an interesting pitch, and it would be great to mention it at your next dinner party because it would be a great way to break the ice.
On that note, let's move onward to our third company of the night, Gaia AI, saving the world one tree at a time with drones and AI. Go ahead, Gaia.
Everybody knows climate change is a problem, but not everybody knows that trees are more effective at capturing carbon than any other technology we have. Planting trees is also a profitable market opportunity, with a market size of $2 billion and growing to $10 billion by 2030. But to prevent a climate catastrophe, we need to increase our reforestation rate by over 4 times by 2030. So what's limiting reforestation? The current manual planting approach is unscalable, expensive, and data-starved. In my last 10 years studying and working on robotics and AI at CMU, Michigan, and autonomous vehicle startups, I've seen how these technologies tackle these issues. Here's where Gaia comes in. We use autonomous drones to plant and monitor forests. The drones will replace the backbreaking labor to plant trees at scale. Our seed AI will optimize seed germination rates, cutting costs by roughly 50%. And our forest AI, trained on data from natural ecology, will design more resilient and carbon-dense forests. This is substantial technology, but we've already made real progress. We are evaluating cameras and hardware, have collected our first data set, and have begun prototyping our computer vision algorithms. The data association between 2 camera frames is a strong start to building our algorithms and having a forest monitoring pilot. We have people asking to be first customers from oil and gas companies, international organizations, and well-known players in the forestry space. And I'm excited to announce we've recently partnered with one of the biggest players in LiDAR, a laser sensing technology that allows us to take our AI to the next level. Help us capitalize on a multi-billion-dollar market opportunity and use our most advanced technologies to empower nature to heal the planet. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Peter. And I have to say, if Gaia AI could actually help me with my own planting, that would be great, because I've been trying to propagate a succulent for about a month now, and it's been awfully unsuccessful. Next in line, let's hear from a fourth competitor. Let's go, Team Goat.
Hello, I am Martin, and I am the founder of Breakout. When Adam went to his doctor, it was already too late. Adam has a developmental disorder, something that affects 1 in 6 children. Within early intervention, these children could live a functional life, but 80% of them miss the opportunity. That's 500,000 children per year in the US. But we have a solution. We have created an online assessment that can reach more children and get them the help they need on time. Our assessment is completed by parents before each well-child visit and can be done from any internet-enabled device. The result is then forwarded to the pediatrician along with recommendations on how to intervene. Compared to a traditional well-child visit, our product is 5 times more effective in screening. And in a series of 200 patient screenings, 99% of physicians agreed with our reports. We have already obtained the endorsement of the Argentine Association of Psychiatrists, and we are now ready to scale rapidly and reach many more children. Today, you have the power to help us win this prize. We will use the money to take the product to the next level and impact more children. These children are counting on your vote. Thank you.
Wow, that really pulled at my heartstrings. It's really taking a spin on the No Child Left Behind, empowering children and empowering people to help them bring this forward. Thank you for that. Go on.
Yeah, it sure is. And let's welcome now our next team, Harvest, that takes unionizing students to the next level by increasing bargaining power on student loans. Take it away.
Thank you. Consumer finance companies spend $17 billion each year on marketing, trying to reach us, their customers. At the same time, each of us is inundated with offers for loan products that we don't even want. And when we finally do decide to borrow, we don't even think about trying to set terms with the lenders. But ask yourself, what if there was a way you could dictate the terms when you want to borrow money without getting laughed straight out of the bank? And what if banks could easily find large volumes of interested borrowers instead of wasting billions on inefficient advertising? The answer to both of those questions is Harvest, a platform for crowdsourcing bargaining power that enables communities to come together and borrow on their terms. Harvest is currently live. The first community to use the platform consists of 785 incoming students who plan to borrow over $100 million for law school. And there are already 4 lenders ready to compete for these loans, with lender bidding kicking off on April 21st. On Harvest, anyone can make an account, kickstart a borrowing bundle, and invite their community to join. Once the group is ready, eBay-style bidding starts, and banks compete for the right to do business with the group. Best of all, Harvest is completely free, unless you're a lender. The second group on Harvest, representing $60 million in loans, was started by a Harvard Law School student looking to refinance with the rest of her class. The third group, it could be you. So the next time you think about borrowing money, think about the importance of your community. Think about the power of your network. Think about Harvest. Thank you.
Thank you, Darren. I heard free, I heard eBay style bidding. I absolutely love it. I kind of wish I had this during my undergraduate years. Wishing you all the best. On to you, Leo.
Yeah, same here. I totally get that. Let's now move to our next team, Human Dynamics, which leverages analytics and robotics to make dangerous jobs safer.
Thank you, Leo. Labor shortage and worker safety have been long-standing issues in the food manufacturing spaces, especially for the sanitization process. These are physically demanding tasks, often done overnight, with high costs due to rising wage and errors causing production delay. Plus the lack of technology adoption, the sanitization is costing the industry in the US over $40 billion annually. And when COVID hit, the industry is crying for a scalable solution. Our team at Human Dynamics have therefore developed a drone-enabled robot system, a robot as a service subscription model, offering food manufacturers over 30% time and 40% cost savings. We believe the robot has a $3 billion market potential to address this $40 billion question, and there's no other companies offering similar solution. On the left-hand side is our prototype testing out the intuitively controlled teleoperation, and we have lined up with local food manufacturers for pilot demonstration. We are developing our robot with LiDAR, thermal scanning, and visual recognition capabilities to ensure quality compliance. The control system will allow real-time monitoring while utilize machine learning for optimization. In the longer term, the robot will be equipped for a variety of tasks besides sanitization and serve customers beyond the food industry. So support us to bring our technology to commercialization to address the labor shortage and worker safety while safeguarding the food on your table. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Human Dynamics. This is a great project, and I must say, I really liked your virtual background there. Up to you, Christy.
Yes, next up we have Kano. They have proprietary technology that can provide biological infrastructure for the pharma industry. Let's hear more from Kano.
Guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren. Wir stellen jetzt Gentherapie auf den Kopf. That was German. And what I wanted to trigger is exactly the confusion that you just felt. Because this is what happens to a cell in your body when it is confronted with a gene therapy. In gene therapies, we aim to deliver genetic instructions to specific target cells. And that can have, we know that writing instructions into single-stranded DNA can lead to more effective and safer gene therapies, but currently an immense manufacturing bottleneck exists. There is no way to produce this long single-stranded DNA at scale. Kano has solved this bottleneck through bioengineering. Our patent technology uses phages and bacteria as biofactories to grow single-stranded DNA in large amounts. And yes, that's me, Flores, here in Building 16 at MIT, producing DNA for one of our 2 ongoing industry collaborations. We know that our technology is transformational, but to realize its potential, we need to spin out of MIT and acquire the funding to build our own manufacturing pipeline. Still, tonight, it's all about your support, because only together we can enable the next generation of cell and gene therapies and help rewrite patients' lives across the spectrum of genetic disease.
Thank you, Flores. And I must say, you definitely had me with the confusion at the beginning. When you spoke German, I seriously thought that I just couldn't understand English anymore. Off to you, Christy.
Yes, next up we have Osmosis. I'm loving the pun-based title for the company. Osmosis, take it from here.
Essential natural resources like natural gas and water must be cleared of impurities before you can use them in your home. And it may sound incredible, but the industrial standard to remove those impurities is to use highly inefficient, century-old technologies, which account for 15% of the global energy consumption. And that translates into huge cost for chemical companies. At MIT and Stanford, our team developed a clean solution, compact membrane modules that act as molecular filters to purify resources with minimal energy input. So how does it work? We've created something like an N95 mask, but to precisely capture the tiny gas molecules that we can use for energy production. This is a $20 billion market, 1.5 billion of which is already serviceable. After over 4 years spent designing breakthrough materials, we have filed 3 patents and gathered interest from over 20 companies. Our beachhead application is natural gas upgrading, the biggest energy source in the US. Compared to current commercial solutions, we can generate up to $800 million of value for our customers, all the while accelerating the fight against climate change by reducing CO2 emissions by 16 million tons per year. After a century of inefficient separations, we broke through the science to provide chemical and petrochemical companies a cheap and sustainable solution that will make them save money while having a positive impact on the environment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Francesco. And I have to say that I really like that you called it osmosis, both because of the pun that Christy mentioned, but also because what you do kind of remind me of Moses parting the Red Sea, except that you're doing it with separation of particles. So that's great.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Project Prana, saving lives by enabling each ventilator to support multiple patients. In some ways, pardon the analogy, it's kind of like a hookah pipe, multiple people inhaling. So on to you, Project Prana.
The current pandemic brought to light a global ventilator shortage, upwards of 2 million, that existed long before COVID and will continue to throttle hospital capacities across the globe. A normal ventilator costs $60,000. A low-cost, limited functionality version, $3,000. Both are simply out of budget for thousands of hospitals in Southeast Asia, South America, and Africa. We designed the iSave, a $350 device that multiplexes one ventilator to 2 patients. It can be assembled in line with an existing ventilator in less than 10 minutes by unexperienced technicians and customizes treatment to each patient, making multiplexing safe. Notably, it incorporates digital wireless monitoring, significantly improving critical care capacities in resource-strapped regions, which currently use analog devices. Collaboratively designed by the MIT Langer Lab engineers and doctors from Harvard Medical School, the iSave has been validated on numerous ICU ventilators and in vivo models. We're in conversations with 9 interested national health ministries and are starting deployment in a major hospital network in Ecuador. The iSave can save 18 million lives per year, save hospitals over $15,000 per device, and is poised to disrupt a $2 billion global ventilator market. With global partners and orders in the pipeline, the iSave is the cost-effective and safe option for redefining respiratory care in global markets. Help us reach our mission. Thanks.
Great project, Shreya. Really, iSave is bound to save lives. It's empowering and it's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. Next up is Project Protect Ed. As their name suggests, they are preserving our youth, one bookcase at a time. Protect Ed, can you take the floor?
Violent attacks continue to pose a serious threat to our loved ones and our way of life. These tragic attacks are happening everywhere, in our offices, hospitals, malls, government buildings, and even our schools. These attacks are unpredictable and difficult to prevent, leaving our loved ones vulnerable and unprepared. Current solutions to the problem are prohibitively expensive, do not actively protect against violence, and too often militarize their environment. My name is Jake Ali, and I'm a former U.S. Army infantry officer and a proud co-founder of Protect Ed. The Protect Ed patent pending bookcase is the only practical, easy to use, multi-level security solution that protects against all forms of violence while never presenting an intimidating or militarized appearance. In an emergency, the Protect Ed bookcase can easily be rolled in front of a door or window by either children or adults in just mere seconds. It securely latches in place over the door and door frame, where it serves as a physical barricade that denies entry and a ballistic barrier against gunfire. The psychological deterrent on the rear face of the bookcase uses a combination of mirrors and messaging that deter and delay an attack, buying critical time for law enforcement to respond. Already in purchase negotiations with K-12 schools, universities, and government agencies around the country, our team is ready to start protecting our loved ones now. Please join us in keeping our children, families, and our way of life safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. This is a great project, and I think the idea of the deterrent is very creative. I like the mirrors. And thank you to everybody for joining us for Accelerate. This is amazing, and we have close to 500 people on right now, which is great. And this was our last team for the night. So we will now introduce Ron, who is the Vice President of Performance Engineering at Akamai. Akamai is a former MIT 100K participant. Actually, they participated back at the time when MIT 100K was called MIT 50K. And we can learn many things from Akamai, but in particular, the that the difference in winning and losing is most often not quitting. Akamai participated in 98, finishing second, and ended up IPOing in 99, and now we all know its success story. Christy?
Excellent. Back to Ron. He is currently the executive sponsor for Akamai's Enreach Employee Resource Group. This group works to foster an inclusive culture and help make Akamai accessible to everyone, which is very empowering. Ron has also worked previously with Akamai Corp Dev to identify startups for potential investment and has been active in the integration of many of Akamai's acquisitions over the years. Ron holds an SB, an SM, and PhD degrees, all from yours truly, MIT, Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. He has been a mentor, an advisor, a friend, an investor for startups like CleverSafe, which was acquired by IBM in 2015 for $1.3 billion. Ron has been a longtime friend of the 100K competition and as a volunteer and an advocate within Akamai. Without further delay, Ron, please, can you take the floor?
Good evening, everyone. Akamai is proud once again to sponsor the Danny Lewin Award. The late Danny Lewin was co-founder of Akamai along with MIT professor Tom Layton, who now serves as Akamai CEO. Before coming to MIT, Danny served as an officer in an elite Israeli commando unit, received degrees from the Technion University, and worked as a research fellow at IBM's research laboratory in Haifa. Danny was a graduate student in the lab for computer science, now part of CSAIL, with Tom as his advisor. Danny's vision for Akamai was born at a lecture at MIT in the 1990s by Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who was instrumental in the creation of the World Wide Web, a name that seems antiquated today. Dr. Berners-Lee described a problem that was destined to plague the internet, which he called the World Wide Wait. In summary, if a server had a piece of content that many people around the world wanted at the same time, the request for that content would overload the server and the surrounding networking, rendering the content effectively unavailable. This content could be a breaking news story, a live sporting event, a newly released movie, a software upgrade for a multiplayer game, and so forth. Danny believed that a practical solution to this problem was critical to the success of the burgeoning internet. Danny's master's thesis developed a set of algorithms called consistent hashing for effectively distributing content globally with high performance. In 1998, Danny and Tom entered the central idea that later became Akamai in the MIT 50K competition, as it was known back then. Although the Akamai concept lost, the competition set Danny and Tom on a path to creating and building Akamai. Akamai was incorporated later that year. In early 1999, Star Wars: The Phantom Menace was released. Because it had been over 10 years since the previous Star Wars movie, Return of the Jedi, there was tremendous anticipation. When a trailer was released online, many of the websites hosting the trailer became unavailable. The worldwide wait, exactly as described by Dr. Berners-Lee, occurred for those sites. However, sites that were running on Akamai and powered by Danny's algorithms were able to withstand the load. Steve Jobs later triumphantly described this trailer as the biggest internet download event in history. Visibility of this and other similar events brought Akamai into the spotlight and helped drive success. Akamai went public later that year. At the time, it was the largest IPO ever. Circa 2000, Akamai was still a fledgling company, not yet profitable or even cash flow positive. The internet bubble, which was fueled by speculative investments in companies that without sound business models, was beginning to burst. Akamai's ability to survive as a company was called into question. In that time, many were skeptical that the internet would become an important aspect of everyday life as it is today. These skeptics were typified for me by an acquaintance, an investment banker, who told me rather indignantly, "When the internet fad is over, no one will pay." Despite the many skeptics and critics, Danny remained steadfast in his belief that if we continue to provide meaningful solutions to challenging technical problems with business value, we would emerge and thrive as a company. Moreover, Danny told us that while Akamai would have innovative ideas, smart people, and terrific technology, the most important factor to our success would be tenacity, a word that best defines Danny. History has proven Danny right many times over. We see, and Danny's algorithms resolve instances of potential worldwide waits every minute of every day on the network. This problem is compounded even more so by relentless cyber attacks that are ever present and growing on the internet. Especially this year, the COVID-19 pandemic has driven more and more activity online. Danny's algorithms remain core to the solutions that allow Akamai to provide high-performing, secure solutions at unmatched scale for our customers. As a company, we continually draw on Danny's spirit of tenacity that is core to Akamai's culture. As a result, despite the many early critics, to Danny's credit, Akamai is a $3.2 billion company today. In 2001, Danny perished on American Airlines Flight 11 in the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He was one of the many heroes on that day. Let me congratulate all the teams competing tonight. Danny would have been inspired by your creativity, hard work, and especially your tenacity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. I remember reading about the story of Akamai and its founders when I was in high school, and I thought it was so inspiring. I went on to tell everybody how the company was founded and how much of a hero Danny was. So it's very impressive. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the whole Akamai team and for your continued support and for being here with us. We'll now move into the breakout room part of the night. So we're going to send you to breakout rooms, but you will be staying in the room. You are not moving. And competitors will come to you, to your room to chat with you about their exciting startup. It's that simple. You're going into a room and then you don't have to move from there. As for the voting form, I'd just like to reiterate that you keep that open, and through the night, as you see companies, you'll fill up the grade that you want to assign to each team. And only at the very end will you submit the form, when we'll let you know. Do not submit it after each competitor. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Very excited.
Hey, Leo, how you doing?
I'm doing good. This has been an amazing journey, hasn't it?
It sure has. Yes, it sure has, as we're coming back and waiting for the votes to get tallied. What are some thoughts that come to mind?
Well, first off, I wanted to thank everybody that asked thoughtful questions to our participants, and everybody who has not as well, just for being here, and all the participants for sharing with us their entrepreneurial journey. And it's always very interesting when I go to an MIT 100K event to kind of see the trends in entrepreneurship at the moment. What have you noticed, Christy?
Absolutely. Well, first, I wanted to remind folks now that we're almost through Accelerate, with soon to know who the winner is. Tomorrow, applications actually open for launch, so be sure to look that up and make sure if you liked what you saw and you happen to have a startup idea and you want to bring that idea from idea to reality, we encourage you to apply. Some other thoughts. Wow, there was so many great startup companies during this competition that it's hard to pinpoint one. Being a technologist, hearing LiDAR, hearing that we're trying to save lives with the new ventilator design, that was certainly just amazing to hear. Saving lives one tree at a time using LiDAR technology and drones. I mean, there seem to be a common themes, but the startups were quite diversified.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think there's definitely a recurring theme of trying to help in terms of the environment, in terms of health, in terms of future for the children of this earth, and this is just amazing to see. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, and keeping sustainability in mind. Oh, sorry, did someone want to chime in?
If I can jump in and just say thanks so much to the people in the breakout groups for the amazing, insightful questions. It really contributed. Accelerate is the one time where the audience really gets to participate and provide feedback and insightful questions to our various competitors. And I want to say thank you to everyone out there who participated. It was really fantastic.
Definitely. And to give one more incentive in terms of launch that's coming up quite soon, actually, what's the final prize for launch again? Kyle, do you know?
I mean, it is called the 100K competition for a reason. So yes, it is amongst our first prize will be $100,000. We've come a long way since the 10K, which was, I believe, about 30 years ago. And I am personally super excited to see the supersized check that we get to give for launch. But yeah, $100,000 US to first prize for launch.
Yeah, that could make quite an impact on any startup of any size, honestly. And I'm sure this is quite the incentive to try and participate and hopefully make it to the semi-finalist, and then have the chance to show your project in front of everybody here.
But yeah,
that we might go for.
Sorry, go ahead.
Up to you, Christy.
One thing we might like to share, folks here from the moderators, folks here from a lot of the folks introducing, but if you're sitting in your seat thinking, oh, I'd like to apply for launch, it'd be nice to hear maybe a perspective from, let's see, I'll just randomly choose, Candelytics. From your perspective, how does it feel to give a pitch during Accelerate, just so that someone else can know what they have in store for them?
Yeah, I mean, it was really exciting to get invited to pitch at Accelerate. This is something that we've been working on for several months now. So to be able to share it with the audience was a very kind of rewarding experience for us to be able to field questions and to hear the audience interest in what we're doing. So congratulations to all the competitors that made it to this round.
Excellent. I think right now, thank you for that perspective. I appreciate. I think right now it's back to Thierno. Are we ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, thank you both again for being amazing MCs. So we've tallied the votes and results are in. We'll start by announcing the winner of the Audience Choice Danny Lewin Prize. And then we'll announce the 3 teams that are going to make it to the launch semifinals. Again, the grand prize was decided here today by the audience, and the teams moving over to the launch semifinals were decided earlier through a different judging process. So Sam will announce that, and now it's time to find out who the winner is. So for 2021 Accelerate Showcase, the grand prize goes to Go Aunt. Well done, team, and congratulations.
Congratulations, Goat. We are so excited for you and hope that this prize will be really helpful as you continue growing your business. Now, we would like to announce the 3 teams who will be automatically moving to the launch semifinals. These winners were chosen based on external judging scores in the Accelerate process. And the winners are Candelytics, Human Dynamics, and Goat.
Thanks everyone for coming out to support MIT 100K. We want to say congratulations again to Goat for winning the Danny Lewin Audience Choice Award, and also Candelytics, Human Dynamics, and Goat on making it to launch semifinals. Launch is a full business plan competition, and we're excited to see the progress teams make in the coming weeks. As a reminder, applications open starting tomorrow, and they'll stay open through March 31st. Thanks everyone for coming out, and have a great evening.